think that if you would ask, 90% of the people who end up in housing finance, did they sit in kindergarten and say that I want to end up working in housing? I don't know how many kids would have raised their hands. But I majored in English actually at the University of Virginia, and I interned just before 9/11 while I was in college. And fortunately, I was interested in going to public relations. And because of 9/11, a lot of jobs and the economy was impacted by that. But my mom's good friend was a loan officer, and she said, I need someone to help me take applications. And I was a loan officer assistant. And this is before NMLSs, and you had to be certified and all of that to do mortgages. So I was out taking applications. And then after a while, I realized that I really loved mortgaging. And I branched out on my own and decided to be a loan officer. And then here comes 2008 with the housing crisis. So I knew that I wanted to keep my thumb on the pulse of housing. So I decided to go to the Neighborhood Housing Services of Baltimore, where I provided pre-purchase and foreclosure counseling, as you mentioned, for the folks in Baltimore. And, that was ground zero after the housing crisis. And I can honestly say that is where I developed my passion for housing by actually working hands-on with the people who were impacted by bad policy. And, I saw people at their worst and at their lowest and at their most desperate points. And that became my North Star. And I promised myself that if I ever had the opportunity to shape policy at some point in my life, I would ensure that anything that I put my hand to would never leave people in that status.